I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love.
In a deeply moving moment, Erika Kirk forgiving the man accused of killing her husband, speaking in front of tens of thousands of people at his public memorial service yesterday. Joining me now to discuss what was really a day for the books. I think one that a lot of people will remember. Senior pastor of Revival City Church in Palos Verdes, California, and Pastor Dan Burgoyne. Pastor Dan, really incredibly emotional, and so fitting that she would sort of end the day saying that this is what Christ did and this is what we're going to do. We're going to walk the walk, and I'm going to stand here and forgive my husband's assassin. Your thoughts on what we saw yesterday?
You can only do that when Jesus is in your heart. I'll tell you, it's Jesus from the cross who said, "Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them." And this guy is sitting in a prison cell. He's going to pay the consequence because there is justice and justice needs to be had. But there's only one unforgivable sin in the Bible, and that's blasphemy. That means that you're not going to accept the testimony of Jesus about who he is, the way, the truth, and the life. What Erika is doing is something that everybody who belongs to Jesus should be doing, but feels an impossibility unless Christ rules in your heart. And that is that you've got to turn things that are too big for you over to God. And God says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." I've been trying to think about when is the last time in my lifetime I've ever seen something like this. I'm 52 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen in my lifetime an event where an assassination like this has taken place and the wife has gotten up in real time and said, "This is what's happening in my heart." She reminds me of Esther. That's what Joy and I, my wife, have been calling her around the house. This is Esther chapter 4. She's been raised up for such a time as this.
Yeah, it's really extraordinary. I had one of the young folks who was there text me and says, "Have you seen anything like this before?" And I'm around your age, and I said to him, "No, we haven't seen anything even remotely like this since 1968." And of course, in our digital era, we're seeing it all very much in real time, and so many more people can participate. Speaking of those who participated, several White House cabinet members headlined the memorial, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Let's play a little bit of what he had to say.
Look, I think he had a tremendous impact on young Americans in general. I think he had a very special and direct impact on young men in this country. That's one of the greatest developments I've seen. It's been very positive. I think we remember him for that. I think we remember him for constantly saying, you want to live a productive life, get married, start a family, love your country. These are powerful messages.
You know, and he also talked about the faith of Charlie in a very succinct and very powerful way. Who stood out to, other than Erika, who stood out to you in terms of their message, who really captured what Charlie Kirk was all about yesterday?
Well, I'm a pastor, and I got to tell you, when Charlie Kirk's pastor got up and began to speak, I thought he did a remarkable job explaining who Charlie was and explaining what Charlie would want him to do and explaining who Jesus was in the life of Charlie Kirk. And, you know, look, I've got 5 kids, 3 of which are young adults. The way I found out about this was when I was in Beverly Hills. I was at an appointment. My son called and blew up my phone before anybody else did and said, "Dad, are you watching the news? Charlie's been shot." And I said, "You know, I believe Charlie will be perfectly fine." He said, "No, Dad, I saw the video of what took place." I got to tell you, we're living in a different day and age when your kids are seeing it in real time and you're having discussions with them about what's taken place. So when an Erika gets up, when Charlie's pastor gets up, when you're seeing our politicians say there is a right and a wrong, There is a standard of truth, and there is a matter by which we are to live. And then you hear Erika talk about what manhood is. This is something Charlie spoke about all the time. You know, the good life to God is to take one wife, love her for life, commit a vow, go and have kids, raise them in such a manner that not only are they great for God, but they're great for the country, to have courage and boldness. And I don't mean to go where I'm not to go, but I'm going to tell you this. It's remarkable to me that on the 24th anniversary of 9/11, we also had a girl that lost her life on a subway. Not one man came to that girl's age. When Charlie speaks about what manhood is, he's saying God actually has a call over your life. You're supposed to be courageous. You're supposed to be brave. You're supposed to be a man that has the type of character to stand for truth. And that's ultimately what got Charlie shot.
You know, he died for those values, and I think that overall, I think he would have been very, very proud of everybody yesterday who came and testified. Pastor Dan Burgoyne, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate your reflections.
God bless you, my friend.
God bless you.